I'd like to call the May 15th, 2023 Triton School Board meeting in order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any visitors?
I did not have any requests for speaking tonight.
Entertain a motion to approve the revised agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion from Dwayne, second from Rebecca. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Cobra Pride.
Yeah, I just wanted to recognize the Triton teaching staff. Last week, we had our Teacher Appreciation Week, and I thought it was a neat week. A lot of people contributed to the celebration, if you will, but overall, it was a great week, and just want to thank our teachers for all they do.
Thank you. Approved consent agenda.
I'll move. Second.
Motion from Jim, second from Brian. Any questions, comments? Oh, by the way, nice to see you here, Brian.
Sounds good.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's see. New business. Discuss and approve June meeting date change.
Yeah, with the law change now, Juneteenth is a holiday that we're not allowed to have meetings on, and that's when our June meeting was scheduled, so we could move that up a week to the 12th. That would be wonderful.
I'll make a motion to approve 7.1. I'll second.
Motion from Rebecca, second from Wendy to change the June date to the 12th. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Student council report.
Hello, I'm Nancy, I'm from Student Council. Our last activity we had was for our Teacher Appreciation Week. So how we appreciated our teachers was we set up a lunch table and we had the students come up and write a note and we'd send them out to our teachers. We also gave flowers to admin and the lunch ladies, gift baskets to the janitors, and we also had the student body vote, and we gave teachers superlatives. We also had a pancake breakfast for our teachers, so they'd come in. This is our
Late start.
yeah, thank you. Breakfast, and they'd come in before school started and they'd eat the breakfast we made for them. Our upcoming activity is a beanbag tournament. That's our final school activity. Our date for this is Wednesday, May 31st from 6 to 7:30. We will either be in the gym or on the turf, depending on the weather, and we are planning to give the winners a prize.
Thank you. Thank you. Zed report. Let's see, last month we had Heidi Cass, longtime business manager, is resigning, and I guess she does flowers, so she's gonna spend more time in her flower garden.
She did a good job.
And they're looking to hire, now our meeting is this coming Thursday. And they have a proposal to hire, is it the same outfit we use?
SMS.
They had some applicants, but I guess, but anyway, that's what's coming before the board, I guess, is the proposal from. We did approve a teacher contract for next year. It's just a 1-year deal. They kind of follow along with, well, first they're non-union. And then they try and go by, they like to fit in the middle, but they basically like to do their contract after everybody else has. But since nobody's started yet, that's why they only did a 1 year. And yeah. It is sizable. Because they kind of like to stay in the middle or upper end of the, well, now it's 6 districts. It came out close to 9, a little over 9%, I guess. But they're still not at the top. They showed us a graph and some charts and where everybody else was, and I've been trying to get that, but it hasn't come forward. How their reasoning behind their numbers, and it may seem like a lot of percentage, but it still doesn't get them above any of the 6 districts. I mean, it gets them above some of them, but not, they're still not paid more than any of the, I mean, all of the other 6 districts. And yet this is for next year, and those, you know, the districts haven't settled yet. So they're kind of playing catch up a little bit, I guess, is how they kind of put it. And let's see, they had several resignations here for Thursday night and several hirings. I think, yeah, you can get that set.
Mhm. Your meeting is on Thursday,
Tuesday,
Tuesday? Thursday.
well, and I don't know, maybe some of you knew, Colleen Johnson's also retiring. She's a long time. Way back when her husband Brian worked at speech here in Creighton. Let's see.
They had their activity day, not this last Friday, but the Friday before. That was a great event. They held that at Casson this year. Next year's at Hayfield. But I gave Mr. Matuska a lot of credit. He did a really nice job on the microphone, they had their elementary in the stands and got them fired up and into it. So it was a neat event. They had a lot of media coverage. I think I sent you the video that was on the news the other day. So that was a good deal. Fun to see some of the, I don't know, for me, I have we have an elementary student that last year I would smile at her and she would turn and look the other way. And this year, I mean, you see the progress that they've made. This year she was high-fiving me, and it's just like, that's just so cool to see how much growth they make in a year's time. Just makes it fun.
I was gonna mention, they had the Zed Science Fair here, and they mentioned at our meeting that some of the Triton students were judges, which they thought was pretty neat. I guess unless there's some questions.
I got a question. So
Sure.
if they got 9% this year, after some of the districts settle their contracts, are they gonna be looking for even more than that next year based on what the teachers get?
Could be. I'll try and get the breakdown and the reasoning. Well, a couple of us asked for it after the meeting. They had a PowerPoint there and it sounded like we could get it, but you know, it shows what other districts they take certain, like first year beginning teachers, 5-year or 15-year, they take different slots and then compare. And then try and come up with something. See, they're not union, so they really don't negotiate.
Okay,
They come up with a package and offer them and see if, yeah. It's kind of, it is what it is, I guess.
That 9% is total package.
Pretty much, yeah. Insurance and, yeah. But they also, well, part of the argument is they feel there's a little tougher job than, I guess it's some of them And, yeah. There was quite a group of them at the meeting. But, yeah. Well, okay, yeah, that's one thing I forgot. A lot of that rate, I mean, it seems like an awful lot, and it is. But because a lot of it's special ed, it gets reimbursed. You know, you pay by what, you get reimbursed by what you pay. So 3/4 of it basically will come from the state. I mean, well, we'll get it indirectly.
And then it goes back.
Doesn't make, I don't know if it making any sense here, but. They submit those costs to the state for special ed.
So it's not gonna cost them as much as it would be if we had a 9% raise.
Yeah. Some of that comes back, yeah.
There's, yeah. Subsidized.
That was one of the selling points. Move on. AD report?
Yeah, Corey went to the softball game. They had kind of a unique situation. They're playing multiple games tonight, so he wanted to go to that, so. I told him I could handle things on this end. He did want to share that they did finalize the schedule for football. That's been kind of a big debacle because this is the section year, so we're actually in section 2 for football now. Which one of the complaints we had when they came out with the original schedule is we weren't playing any of our section opponents. So we added the toughest 2 teams from that section. So that's the first 2 games. It's Maple River and Blue Earth. And then we get to back that up with Caledonia and Chatfield. So we have a pretty tough first 4 games. Homecoming will be against St. Charles. And then we get an easy game against, guess that's not an easy game either. We get Cannon Falls. And the Crescent's not an easy game either anymore. And then we'll have Dover Yoda, which they ended up the year pretty well too. So tough schedule, but that's okay. But at least we've got a schedule now. So what they really did is they took the 52 teams in southern Minnesota and split them up into districts. So it's kind of a unique. I wish they would just go to play your conference or play your district and leave it alone, because this switching every 2 years really. It's sad because a lot of the rivalries that you develop, you don't get to keep. You know, like I was talking to Casson is actually driving all the way to Malacca this next year for a game. I mean, their games are now spread out all over
Where's
the
that?
place.
Where is that again?
It would be north of the cities by about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I get that they're trying to do things to make it equitable, but in the same respect, I think that they're really screwing some things up. And and I talked to some people from Rochester. They made Mayo a 6A school, but now Century and JM are gonna be 5A. Well, it's like one of the parents there was saying, well, if I have a kid that's really good in football, I'm gonna send them to Mayo, because if they're in a 6A program, they're gonna get better coverage than if they were in a 5. So it starts to make it icky. I wish they would just leave some of that alone and just let people play people and be done with it. Other than that, he gave me some dates. The fall eligibility meeting is going to be on August 9th. Fall sports begin August 14th. September 25th to 29th will be homecoming week. And then September 29th is the homecoming parade, homecoming fair, and homecoming game. For football, we do have a flex Friday scheduled, so I'm meeting with the admin to look at that, if that's what they want to keep, or if they want to change that or adjust that. So we may have some calendar adjustments down the road here. But that's really all he had for the AD report.
Principals report.
Trish is here, but I'll take care of the elementary, but they both had kids that were competing in things tonight, and I said, you know what, just go. There's not a lot on the agenda. I can cover going through your update for you. So they're not just gone to be gone, but I think they were trying to make Trisha feel guilty and get her to not come. And she's like, no, I'm coming. And I think it kind of miffed them both, so. That was fun. It's Trisha like, no, I'm gonna go to the meeting. I don't need to take today off.
My youngest 20, my day is over.
Grandkids will be here soon enough.
Yeah.
So the first two pictures here, the first grade, fourth grade and fifth grade went to a field trip. Called Physics Force. Cool thing about that is Miss Bradford actually wrote a grant and that covered everything, including busing. So those kids were able to go to that. There's a couple pictures from that. It sounds like it was a neat experience for them. Concerts, as you know, concert season is in full swing. And Miss Dietz is actually going to become the new band teacher. That is really where her passion is. So she's pretty excited about moving up to be with the high school students. So next we had, let's see, the next one is we have the Zed Activity Fair. They're on the bus there. They do a neat going away ceremony for them. So that's kind of a neat deal. Got a picture of the science fair. No, I'm sorry, that's Market Day. That was last Friday. Fourth grade had their Market Day. Again, another successful outing for the Market Day. Last year, they did that in the cafeteria and moved it into the gym. It was a neat deal. And then lastly, they had the Lions here and planting a tree. Any questions on elementary? Trisha?
Yeah, so for middle school, I had talked before about Whitewater a few times. A lot of prep and planning goes into that, so I had mentioned it, but it happened, it occurred, and it was great. So another successful year in the books, and Jim, thank you for all your work on that, appreciate that. Kids were very tired, I saw them when they were coming back. Pretty hushed voices, but on Monday I heard all about it, so yeah, lots of excitement with that. Staff appreciation, we had a lot of fun with that. It was administrative professionals, so we recognized Marisa Starkson, who really manages our entire office and does a great job. And then we had a teacher appreciation week and all kinds of fun things went on, and thank you to our parent team for contributing to that. But at the end of Friday, some of the staff and I were gathered out in the hall just talking, and a teacher said, I wish it was teacher appreciation every week. So we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Sextortion presentation. This is something different and new that we haven't done before at the middle school. Every year we often have victim services come in and present to our students on different topics. This year, Deputy Dave has been working with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to have an agent come in and do a presentation on sextortion, which is a growing crime, unfortunately, in Minnesota. So it's when someone threatens to distribute your private and sensitive material if you don't provide them images of a sexual nature, sexual favors, or money. So the hope is that this is a great prevention message for our students to prevent them from becoming victims to this. So information has gone out to parents, and we've told parents they're welcome to come in and be present and be a part of those presentations. And if they want to opt their child out of that presentation, because of course that is a sensitive topic, they can do that as well. So this will take place on Thursday, and it'll be in the morning. We're going to do a grade level at a time. So 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, starting at 8:10. If any of you would like to come in and see that, you're welcome to do that. So we'll be in the path for that.
And that conversation really started because at MASA this year, they had a speaker from the FBI come in. And they said that Minnesota is ranked 4th in the nation for sexual predators, which is not a good place to be ranked. But they had I'm trying to think that the number 13,000, but I can't remember what that relates to. But the number of people that are working on this in the FBI, they felt that it was so bad that they needed to come to the superintendent meeting and talk about it. And I mean, I was kind of floored, and I know that it's something that happens, but the amount of effort and energy that some people put into this. Well, that's what it was. Some people have over 13,000 accounts that they're using and pretending to be people. And that's what they do is they infiltrate these friend groups. So they, you know, and that's one of the biggest things that they're going to talk about at that is if you're in a Snapchat group and you let somebody in your group, make sure you know who that person is. Not just and you know, and then not just because it was their picture and it said who they were, because a lot of these people are grabbing other people's profile pictures, pretending to be people. Then they get into the friend group, they find out a little bit of information, they do their research, then they go into talking them into getting a picture. And then once they get the picture, that's when the sextortion piece is where they try to get money out of them, they try to get more pictures out of them, and that's really the thing that the FBI was emphasizing with us is that's probably the number one reason for suicide right now in Minnesota is due to this stuff, because kids get into it, they don't know how to get out of it. And unfortunately, these people are good at what they do and they make kids feel trapped. And really the whole point of having an informational session like this is talk to adults. Everything that they're doing is illegal and you didn't do anything wrong. So really trying to help the students understand that they're a victim, they're being preyed upon, and just to be on the lookout for, know who your friends really are. You know, it can't be just somebody that pretends to be your friend in a friend group. It has to be who you really know.
Which is a hard conversation to have with them, because they justified and believe that they really do know them. So as a social worker, I've certainly seen students get into some of these situations. So I'm so thankful that we're having this presentation, and so far I've gotten positive comments back from parents. Mostly we can't attend, but can we get more information about it? So I'm glad that they want that information. So it's good. On a much lighter note, classroom spotlight, Harry Potter. We're reading Harry Potter in the language class, and I had the opportunity to sub a few times in Miss Rossi's language arts class last week, and it was fun to see how excited the students are, not just in reading, but just how she kind of makes that book come alive. The picture is hard to tell what you're looking at there, but they're hanging up floating candles from the ceiling. And she's kind of transformed her room. So there's magic potions, the floating candles, special treats, just all different ways to kind of make it feel like a unique and special experience. So, and of course, it's all about learning too. So the book ties into many units they've been studying: Greek mythology, figurative language, and literary elements. So it's a great lesson, something that Miss Rossi feels passionate about and is excited to teach. So that's been super fun with the 7th grade class. And then lastly, this Saturday, we have an outdoor movie that our teen parent group has been putting together too. So we're excited to watch Jumanji. You're all welcome to come. Food trucks will be here at 8 p.m. and then the movie will start once it gets dark, about 8:45-ish. So we're hoping for a great turnout for that, and yeah, just a fun night. And then I mentioned some of these before, but thought I would just run through them again quick. Just middle school, kind of mark your calendar things. We talked about the presentation, the movie. I just thought I would share that currently our students are applying to be web leaders for next year, or Pride Pack for next year. Pride Pack is the middle school version of a student council. So it's always an exciting time when we can look ahead to next year. And I have a lot of students asking me, like, do you think I'd be a good web leader? And just interested in those leadership opportunities. So we're having fun with that. Valley Fair is coming up, the 8th grade recognition ceremony. Again, if any of you would like to participate in that, just let me know. We'd love to have you there. And I just mentioned last day of school. We know June 1st is the last day, but we do a lot of unique things the last day of school that have been traditions year after year. So our staff and students get excited for those last day of school activities. And then I just added one summer thing that some of us are doing at the school that are part of our crisis management team. And that's going to a training to learn more about reunification plans. So our crisis plan right now does have a reunification plan in it. But of course, it's always great to learn more and see if there's something that we can do to improve on that plan. So reunification would be if a crisis event occurs and we need to reunify students with parents, and how you do that amidst crisis. Yeah, so definitely a complicated process, so I'm excited to learn more about that. That's it.
Any questions for Tricia? Thanks, Tricia.
Yeah, thank you.
High school, Mr. Luderman, they had some dress up days for Teacher Appreciation Week for staff, which I thought was kind of unique, so that was kind of fun for them. Let's see what else. Administrative Professionals Week on the far right. The Honor Cup is something that they typically do with the staff, the teaching staff, and it was actually awarded to Kelly and Misty. And that was kind of a neat thing, and I'm not sure what the middle picture is actually from the breakfast, the staff appreciation breakfast that the student council put on. Just senior activities, so we got academic awards and scholarships on May 17th, this Wednesday. Academic Pep Fest is the 19th, that'll be in school. Baccalaureate is going to be on Sunday. Remember, there was kind of a conflict with some times, and so they're going to do that on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Senior picnic is next Tuesday on the 23rd. And then seniors' last day in boards is Wednesday next week already. So holy, that went fast. And then grad practice and senior walk will be on June 1. And graduation is on June 4th at 2 o'clock. And that's all he had. Any questions for high
I
school?
saw Tractor Day, it's Friday.
Tractor Day is Friday. Yeah.
I would like that. It's like, drive by and say,
Yeah. I have a boy that wants to do it. I said, I did it once. You don't need to do it. It's not that fun. It's an hour drive in the cold in the morning, and then it was like 90 degrees on the way home. And I was like, and that wasn't fun either.
You have to give him a new tractor.
Yeah.
Superintendent's report.
One thing I want to let you know, we tried to do some things with crossing guard out here in front. And it's been tough with staff because they call in sick or there's those kind of stuff. What we've decided is we're going to have a student group trained. And then we will put them in charge of it. That's an opportunity to have them do some leadership training. I know someone in here that actually got to go to Legionville back in the day, and
It sure did.
and I shared with that, Tricia and I were talking about that. I was like, I never got to go to the crossing guard summer camp, but my sister did. So, that's something that we could certainly look at doing with our students. And I think that would be a good thing. We do need a crossing guard, but we do keep in contact with the sheriff's department, and they've been doing a better job of keeping people out there too with patrol cars before, after school.
yeah, I've seen them all the time.
Yeah. Speaker series, I just wanted to let you know that this kind of the sextortion thing came up, and then we've gotten a number of grants to do some speakers. Corey Black is going to have the first speaker on August 9th. And that was a grant through the Minnesota State High School League. I got a grant to do an equity type speaker, and I don't have a time and place, but I thought what we would try to do is have a series, so we would have multiple. And then I also have been in touch that there was a suicide prevention speaker that just was at Casson last week. One of our parents had heard about it, brought that information to me. I kind of looked into it a little bit. It looks like a good program that I would certainly be interested in. They actually knew of some funding that would be supplied for that, because I guess they did it in Owatonna as well. So the person that lives in our district, their boss in Owatonna is like, it was so good, I would actually pay to have that at your school. So kind of cool. And then lastly, I just remember Diana Iper's retirement celebration is in the cafeteria at 7:30. Any other questions for me? Legislative session. I'll just mention it. It's going to be interesting. Right now, as things sit, it's going to cost us more than we're getting. Just saying. With the unemployment insurance and the paid family medical leave, it will cost us more than the increase that they're proposing. And that makes it difficult, because they're saying this is going to be the next Minnesota miracle. And it's like, it's a miracle that you're calling it an increase in funding when it's a decrease. When you have more, the unfunded mandates are gonna cost us more than the money you're giving us. So it really does put a lot of schools, I mean, it puts us in a difficult situation, and the number of the mandates that are coming with it are. Unappreciated, I'll just say that. I wish they would leave a lot of those decisions to boards and school districts to make, but they're making a lot of decisions for us, so. They're supposed to be done by the 22nd. I think that the education bill was gonna be actually this evening. Last I saw, so it will be interesting to see how this ends up shaking out. All I got.
Thank you. Any other?
Craig, you had mentioned possible study session date. We want to discuss that.
August 2nd, does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Would it be better to do one? I just thought with the. Trying to do one between June and July. A lot of us as admin are gonna try and take our vacations there, so.
6 o'clock,
I thought it'd be nice to do before school starts, so August 2nd,
6, so.
6,
Yeah.
that
Is that what you're
works,
saying?
yeah,
Is that a Wednesday?
yeah, it is. So if that works, I'll put that in the books, I got a few things that I want to go over, we'll go over the redefining ready, the report cards and stuff, that'll be finalized this summer, so. We can probably, do a quick intro of some new staff too, because we'll have a few of those, so. Still in the hiring mode, but yeah. Overall, been real pleased with the candidates that the admin have been finding, they're doing a great job of hiring, so kudos to them.
And again, meeting will be the 12th of June. Yeah. We'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
I.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.